Hello, this is Bethany Daly, and we are going to be learning today a really pretty lattice, a really lacy lattice design for your knitting looms. Look at that, how pretty it looks when it's all stretched out. This is what it looks like normal, and then I'm going to block it so that it'll be an open weave like that. So it's really easy to do. It only involves one stitch, really, that is worked over 2 pegs, and then it's just repeated through the rest of the row. So I have done the border stitches, and now I'm going to do the 2 rows that it is involved, or the 2 pegs that involves the stitch. First of all, I'm going to show you, because they alternate by rows, I have 2 pegs over here set separate from the rest of the pegs, and so I can tell the difference between which one I need to work. I have a lighter peg and a darker peg, and whichever one my marker is on, that's the one that I need to start with. So this is on the darker peg, so I know that this row I need to start my lacy design on the darker peg. So what you do first is a knit 2 together. So I've done my 3 stitches for the border. Now because it says the darker peg is where we're starting, you're going to move that over to the peg next to it for a knit 2 together. So you slip your working yarn behind the dark peg, and you're just going to do a U-stitch, knit the first one off, but instead of just letting go ahead and place that onto the darker peg and then knit off the second loop. Then I'm going to take the working yarn, wrap it around as an E-wrap around the darker peg and knit off. And that is it. You've just done the lacy stitch for this stitch sample. Now to do the next one in line, we've already worked this peg with these 2, so we go to the next dark peg. Do the same thing, knit 2 together, carry the working yarn. Now you're carrying it behind the light peg we've already worked and behind the empty darker peg, and you U-stitch first the top loop, but remember, don't let that go back onto the peg. Behind the peg, you slide it onto the empty darker peg right next door. And then you knit off the second loop, and then go ahead and E-wrap the dark peg and knit off. And then you continue that way through the whole row by sets of 2 pegs. Carry behind these 2. Just like this. Knit off, E-wrap, and so on. Now when it comes, then you knit all the way back the next row. Then the following row, you're going to switch this stitch to the light peg. So we know, okay, now we're going to start on that light peg. And in doing so, you do the 3 border pegs, then knit this peg so that you're starting the lacy stitch on the light peg, so that you would move this one over to the dark peg to knit 2 together, and then this one would be empty, and you'd move that loop over to this one, E-wrap it, and carry on. And that's it. Easy as pie. That's how this stitch is worked. It looks complicated, but it's super, super easy. Thanks for stopping by today.